10 years. That's how long Fallout 4 has been around, and to celebrate this milestone, Fallout 4 received the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition on November 10th, 2025. A love letter to what many consider one of the best Fallout games. Except, it was not great. Confusing pricing, broken mods, and more. That is why today we're diving into what exactly the problem is with the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. Okay, so first we have to talk about the pricing, because at this point, it is a little ridiculous how much Fallout 4 has been squeezed. So the full Anniversary Edition is $59.99 and includes the base game, all of the DLC, and over 150 Creation Club items, which we are calling the Creations Bundle. So I will admit that for newcomers, it isn't really that bad of a price to get all of this for $60, but at the same time, it is also a 10-year-old game. The problem is that this is not any actual special edition of Fallout 4. Really, it bundles the base game of Fallout 4 with everything that we have had for years, with the exception of the Creations Bundle. No new graphics, no real new DLC or expansions, just the Creations. So if you have all the DLC already up to this point, your only potential item of value that you can receive from this is the $20 Creations Bundle, and that is if you think it is worth the cost. Seemingly most people don't, which is probably why it's receiving mostly negative reviews on Steam. Typically, mods for Fallout 4 are usually free, depending on where you get them. But now we are being charged $20 just for some cosmetics. I mean, come on. Speaking of mods, for 10 years, Fallout 4's modding community has been supporting the longevity of this game. Players have created hundreds of thousands of mods, from simple texture improvements to complete overhauls that transform the entire experience. Some players run 200, 300, and even 400 plus mods at once, which is honestly pretty wild. They're carefully balanced, tested, and curated, and the Anniversary Edition broke it. Well, not everything, but a good chunk of what makes the modding community so great. And that is because it broke a mod called F4SE, or Fallout 4 Script Extender, which is the foundation that most major mods rely on. And when Fallout 4 Script Extender stops working, every mod that depends on it essentially fails as well. Does this sound familiar? Well, it should, because this is the second time in 18 months that this has happened. Last year's Next Gen update broke thousands of mods and fractured the modding community. Some mod authors updated their work, but others abandoned their projects entirely. Many players tried to downgrade their games just to keep playing with their favorite mods, and now it has happened again. Some players speculate that this was intentional, and that Bethesda essentially broke free community mods to push players toward paid Creation Club content. After all, the Creation Club is replacing the previous system with a verified creator program, where developers can sell paid mods without Bethesda's involvement. Is that what's happening? Well, we can't really say for sure, but the optics definitely don't look good here. You're breaking years of free community work to sell people skins for a few bucks each. Essentially, that's the message that Bethesda is sending, whether they mean to or not. If this was a one-off incident, it would be a little more tolerable, but at this point, Bethesda should know these things well in advance because it has happened before. While a small warning was sent out about the effect it will have to Bethesda's internal mod ecosystem on November 4th, there wasn't a real thought about how it would affect the entire modding community. Just to play devil's advocate here, they were rolling out a relatively big update across multiple systems, and they aren't really involved with what happens externally. They only provide the tools for modders. They don't have any obligations to the modding community. However, that doesn't make it sting any less. The user-generated content provided by modders is the driving force behind what keeps the community alive, and is what allows them to bring the Anniversary Edition to the community 10 years after the game's original launch. They should have game planned and worked with the big external mod creators like F4SE, or at least provided users with the ability to go back to previous builds of the game, where players could continue to play with their favorite mods until the mod authors could update their mods to the newest version of the game. So Bethesda's reputation has taken some pretty big hits lately, and I don't really want to dive all the way back to Fallout 76, but for the sake of due diligence, please let me know your feelings about Fallout 76 in the comments, because maybe I'm way out of left field here and everyone loves the game. Speaking of fields, Starfield was really not great, with many calling it a disappointment. Sorry, Starfield. Oblivion Remastered was an example of how to leave your community ghosted for months after raking in cash from nostalgia, so the company's once golden touch for open world RPGs seems to be a little bit rocky. We may not see Elder Scrolls 6 until at least 2028, so in the meantime, I guess fans will continue to see anniversary editions of decade-old games, all while being charged full price for them. I mean, we might see Fallout 3 remastered, which both excites and terrifies me because of the Oblivion treatment. At this point, I think the community is just exhausted. As one player put it on Steam, you only remember your game when a series comes out on TV. In fact, you have no interest in it, you just need a little money. Another wrote, only Bethesda can be proud of the mod community, and then blank on their plates. You can fill in the words there. Bravo, I hate you. You know that it's bad when even Jesus is angry. There is a silver lining though, sort of. On November 12th, Bethesda did address the issues with the Anniversary Edition and released an X article titled Fallout 4 Upcoming Hotfixes and Creation Storage Increase. In it, they say we're actively investigating issues you're encountering with the latest Fallout 4 update and Anniversary Edition launch. You should now see faster load times of the Creations menu, game menu, and redemption of Creation Club items. They go on to say their plans to publish a hotfix next week to address stability problems on Xbox One and PS4. After the upcoming hotfix, there are 2 additional patches that are set to be released in the coming weeks, with the first being released on November 24th and the second releasing in the first half of December. So then, what is the verdict on Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition? Like I said previously, if you've never played Fallout 4, the $60 package actually isn't really that bad. However, if you've waited this long, then you're honestly better off just waiting for a sale because this game goes on discount constantly. If you already own the game, especially the Game of the Year edition, just don't buy this. I would say don't even bother with the Creations bundle as well. However, if you have piles of cash laying around, you haven't bought anything from the Creation store, and you feel like getting something that has been stamped with Bethesda's seal of approval, then I guess, go for it. The real tragedy here is that Fallout 4 is actually a good game. It's an amazing game, at least I think so, and I have a real-life Pip-Boy, kind of. It has an incredible modding community that's kept it alive and vibrant for 10 years. This should have been a celebration of that community. A thank you to the fans who never gave up on the Commonwealth, but instead we received a confusing, overpriced mess that punished the most dedicated players. But that is my thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on 10 years of Fallout 4, and thank you for watching Game Rant. Be sure to check out GameRant.com for everything gaming, and lastly, don't forget to game on, and we'll see you next time.